Hi, I'm Natalie, co-founder of OneUpOneDown. And I committed to working on OneUpOneDown 2.5 years ago. And like all good ideas, there are usually a series of events that happen before the moment where the individual commits to focusing on building a company. And for me, the series of events, well, there are a number of them over my lifetime, but the most notable ones were so I worked with early stage entrepreneurs, helping them to launch companies, and I saw how valuable it was for a founder to learn from another founder who was a couple of steps ahead in specific areas of learning and development. So with most business mentors, the traditional approach is to get mentored by someone who has 10 plus years experience and has time to put back into other businesses, but saw that once you've been in business for a long period of time, you can't relate in the meaningful way to what those first few years are like for a founder. So the best advice that you can get is from someone who's just a couple of steps ahead. So after working in that for a period, I returned to work for other companies, and I through that period of starting my own company, I built a lot of my own confidence and ability to communicate because I had to. So then I went back to working within other environments that were more male dominated, and I pretty quickly actually felt my level of confidence and my ability to communicate diminish within the environment. And just it was an observation. I wasn't exactly sure why. At the same time, or pretty quickly after that, I had an opportunity to go to the US and participate in a program for women in entrepreneurship. And I was surrounded by 24 other female leaders from around the world. And it was the first time that I had been in an environment just purely of women, where I felt this deep, innate sense of comfort in my own abilities to lead, and the confidence that I had in my ability to communicate with the other women. And I saw it in them as well. And it brought out this part of me that I hadn't recognized before, and gave me this great level of confidence. And I realized, that I personally had never had a female mentor before. All my mentors, or not even a formal mentor, all the people I had looked up to in my life were men, and I had aspired to be like men. And I realized that being in these environments where they were male dominated, there was a part of myself that I was keeping small. So after those series of realizations, committed to launching OneUpOneDown, and took the learnings that I had gained from developing these entrepreneurial programs around the value of 3-month focuses and that near peer idea of having someone that's just a couple of steps ahead of you in specific areas of learning development. Built that into a model that I then launched. We at the time then launched to make available for mentors, to make available for women in business and technology. Applied for Y Combinator Startup School and went through that, where I met Dzhuliana.
And here's my part, because so a couple of years ago, I actually moved to another country and I didn't know the language. And when I came to England, and I was struggling because I lost my ability to communicate. I lost my confidence because from extremely extrovert, I turned to introvert. I went to coding and programming and being only learning, lost all the human connection. And actually, I started different ideas, and at some point, somehow, because of a series of events in my life as well, I ended up in Y Combinator when we met. And actually, I saw that I might need a mentor, and it was such a great match, because when I met Natalie, she just was a couple of steps ahead of me in terms of building communication and building confidence into my life. I have always been in male-dominated industries, and I feel pretty well because it was fine. It was the normal, and I've never had a woman that I can relate to, the way that we can empower each other. And what would happen is that we now have a company that we built together, and it is not only statistic, it is our story, it is what we have discovered for each other, and what we do now. And actually what we do now with OneUpOneDown for the last 2 years is to to have more, almost 700 influential women, and we help them to build these trusted relationships, to build the confidence, to improve their communication, and to believe in their self. We solve that problem by having a very scalable solution. Yeah.
So our solution removes the main barriers that prevent women from finding highly effective matches. And as Dzhuliana said, we focus on building deeply trusted relationships in a way that optimizes value exchange for mentor and mentee. And we had an assumption that women weren't getting what they needed in terms of the validation around how they were showing up in the workplace, the validation around how they communicate, how they build confidence. They weren't getting that from their environment, and they would get it from this mentorship method. And the results have really validated these assumptions that what we've created is valuable. 75% of women who have been through the program have said that their match was life-changing, and this is just a 3-month match, 4 meetings. We know that there is an exciting opportunity to scale this globally, and we've validated that we can build the product, that we can get customers and paying businesses to come on board. So now we're entering to the exciting stage of growing the company.
Thank you for being with us. And if you really want to join us in building a culture of trusted relationships around the world, you're very welcome to join.
Thank you.